My goal was more USB ports, and that's really what hubs seemed to give me more than the docks. I was very impressed with the build and the quality. CalDigit is known for its well-built docking stations and hubs. Hi, I'm Don Bullock. Welcome to the Tech iHound, where I sniff out information and news on Apple Computer and related technologies that I use here in my office studio and in my home. As I mentioned in my video on the 12 South backpack shelf, the rear I/O ports on my M1 Studio Macs and my studio display have been full for well over a year. I've had to make numerous changes in what's plugged in. When I bought my second Osbot camera, the Tiny 2 Lite, it became clear when I needed to use this camera for a video and it wasn't plugged in that I needed to make some changes here and add a hub to my computer. That's when I suddenly decided that I needed more USB ports, both A and C type, and started researching docks and hubs. Of course, I'd spent quite a bit of money on these two Osbot cameras, so getting a hub had to wait until I could build up my cache. That delay gave me a lot of time to research hubs and docks, and I did a lot, both video and written. I read a lot of magazine articles, or internet articles as we call them these days, I guess, and watched a lot of videos on hubs and docks. It's really a confusing topic. Most of the documents said hubs aren't powered and docks are. But I found that really wasn't the case. Obviously, they said a lot more, but no one had a definitive answer as to what separated docks from hubs. At least that was my conclusion. What I found was that most docks available at the time had extra ports like SD card slots, in and out audio jacks, that I just didn't need. I have both of those on the front of my Studio Macs. Many of them also had Ethernet jacks and HDMI ports that I just really didn't need. Plus, they were large and quite a lot more than hubs. I'd be spending more money for things I didn't need and take up more space on my desk. As I stated, my goal was more USB ports. And that's really what hubs seemed to give me more than the docks. At the time, 3 powered hubs stuck out, or at least in my opinion. The Thunderbolt 4 hubs from OWC, Kensington, and CalDigit caught my attention. All of them had 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, but the Kensington and OWC ports only had one USB 3.2 Generation 2 Type A port, while the CalDigit has 4. Though the CalDigit was more money, it had 3 more ports than the other 2, and that's really what I wanted. I also saw reports where some complained about the problems that they had with their OWC hub with their Macs. While I couldn't substantiate those complaints, they did cause some concerns, and that's one reason I decided to go with the CalDigit hub. In July of 2025, CalDigit hub was reduced in price to $180, so I bought one. Now, before you start shouting at your screen about what I should do and I should have bought a Thunderbolt 5 hub instead, I did consider that. The CalDigit Thunderbolt 5 hub had just been released. At the time, it was $100 more than their Thunderbolt 4 hub. Yes, I know all about future-proofing and making sure that I have the best that I can afford and all of that. Realistically, I'm using the hub with an M1 Mac Studio Max with Thunderbolt 4 ports. I don't have any devices, even an SSD, that's a Thunderbolt 4 yet. So going with Thunderbolt 5 was just kind of overkill. Recently, Brian Tong, someone who could definitely afford an upgrade to his computer on his channel, stated that the performance he gets out of his M1 MacBook Pro is more than adequate for his needs. so he sees no reason to upgrade to an M5. I'm also not planning to upgrade my computer anytime. The performance of my M1 Max chip has never been taxed. Until there's a reason for me to switch over and change to a new computer, I'm just not going to upgrade, so future-proofing is not something I really worry about at this particular time when it comes to a hub. Actually, right now, for me, the Thunderbolt 4 is overkill. I also figured that when I do decide to upgrade my Mac, there might be a new improved type of port, and I'd buy a hub to match that computer, not this one. Besides, this Thunderbolt 4 port would still be useful for many years to come because of all my legacy devices. When I unboxed the CalDigit hub, I was very impressed with the build and the quality. CalDigit is known for its well-built docking stations and hubs. The Element 4 hub is no different. As soon as I picked it up, I could tell this device was going to last. The metal construction on 4 out of the 6 sides not only gives the hub a premium feel, it also serves the purpose of creating a remarkably robust structure. That aluminum shell also helps to dissipate heat. The remaining 2 sides are made of plastic, but they're very strong and sturdy, and they'll last. The spacing of all the ports plus the power supply plug are well placed and easy to access. They're placed next to each other and not jammed together. As I showed on my video about the 12 South backpack shelf, the placement of the ports was perfect for what I needed. The CalDigit Thunderbolt 4 hub really fits into my needs. First of all, it comes with a Thunderbolt 4 cable to attach the hub to any computer. The 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports can go up to 40 gigabits per second bandwidth. One of these ports connects to my computer. That means that the other 3 are for output. As I mentioned, there are 4 USB-A ports, and they support USB 3.2 Gen 2 interface for bandwidths up to 10 gigabits per second. All of this is great for connecting multiple peripherals, including SSDs, displays, network adapters, or dongles of any kind. The number of connection ports will be more than enough for me for a while. With Thunderbolt 4, I can daisy chain to anything else as far as hubs or docks if I need to. Something I've added to my list of things to buy is a Thunderbolt 4 SSD, or perhaps a Thunderbolt 5 for that future-proofing. For now, I'll just have to be using my Samsung T7 Shield 2 terabyte portable SSD as an external drive. Yes, I know it's slow, but for now, it's meeting my needs. While I'm only using an extra monitor that uses HDMI, I do know that the Thunderbolt 4 ports will support monitors as well. The fact that the Element 4 hub has multiple Thunderbolt 4 ports means that you can connect to any type of monitor you require. You can directly connect a USB-C Thunderbolt 3 or Thunderbolt 4 monitor for simple plug-and-play simplicity. Alternatively, you can use an USB-C video adapter to connect an HDMI or DisplayPort monitor. So if I add another monitor, I could use this hub to connect it. While I currently don't have a laptop, the Element Hub not only offers versatile connectivity options, it'll also charge a tablet or a MacBook up to 60 watts through the computer port. So as shown here, it can be attached to the laptop's Thunderbolt USB-C port while providing both input power and output to the hub's ports. Now, speed and bandwidth will obviously depend on the peripherals I'm using and connecting to it. While the 3 Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports provide up to 4 gigabits of bandwidth, they can be used for any USB-C devices. With adapters, they could be used with any USB device if necessary. The 4 USB-A ports could be considered legacy ports for devices that have those kinds of connectors. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of legacy accessories. Even this on-air light is powered by USB-A. I bought it so my wife can tell when I'm recording, which she thought was a good idea. But then she ignores it when she still interrupts me while I'm recording. The Element 4 hub is reversible, which adds more to its flexibility. While this is something that wasn't important for my situation, it allows users to direct their Thunderbolt cable either to the left or right side of their machines, either a laptop or a desktop. The design on the top and bottom are identical, so it looks the part whichever way you flip it. The package includes 2 rubber strips which can be applied to whichever side you have facing down. These help protect the case and give it more grip on the desk. Now I'll add here that I left the feet off my hub since the 12 South backpack shelf that it's attached to is aluminum with a lot of holes in it. I'm hoping that the shelf will serve sort of as a heat sink for the hub in case it gets hot. One of the things that I'm not thrilled about is the size of the power supply for the CalDigit hub. It's bigger than the hub. If you're thinking of using the hub for a laptop, it's just not something that you'll want to pick up and put in your backpack and carry away from your desk. It's just way too big and too heavy for that. In my case, it's okay, but not optimal. That's one place where the CalDigit Thunderbolt 5 hub has improved greatly over the Thunderbolt 4 hub. Its power supply is much smaller, and so is the hub. If you need extra USB or Thunderbolt 4 ports for your computer, the CalDigit Element Thunderbolt 4 hub may be just what you need. If you have another Thunderbolt dock or hub, remember that the Element 4 hub can be daisy-chained to give you additional ports because of that Thunderbolt 4. It's something that you need to at least consider. Again, the extra 3 USB-A ports might be the decision maker if you're looking for a hub. Just remember that you're adding a new hub to add more ports to your computer, so the more ports you can get from the hub, the better off you are. The CalDigit hub is not only for Thunderbolt 4 users. This versatile device is backwards compatible with Thunderbolt 3, USB-C, and USB-A. And of course, that's why I wanted it. This means that the Element 4 hub can be adapted to any situation that you have where you need extra ports. The Element 4 hub will adapt to the connections of any host computer in order to provide the features available to you. Oh, and there's one more thing. The Element hub has a trick up its sleeve. When connected to power, even when not connected to a computer, all the USB-C and USB-A ports are powered. This allows you to use the hub as a charging station for up to 8 USB-powered devices, including, of course, charging your laptop. This diagram that's on the screen now gives you an idea of how powerful this hub is for that purpose. Notice all the different chargers that one Element 4 hub can replace. It's really amazing when you think about it in this situation. One reason it can charge all those devices is that it comes with a 150-watt power supply, more than any of the others, especially the OWC and the Kensington. And that's another reason why I selected the CalDigit over those two. For those of you who are used to all the charts that Apple uses to show all the features of their OS system, here's the same kind of chart for the CalDigit Thunderbolt 4 Element Hub. If you want to look it over, you can take a screenshot. What I've said about the CalDigit Thunderbolt 4 Hub carries over to their new Thunderbolt 5 Element Hub. According to the reviews I've seen, this is the same quality hub, but improved, with the smaller size for both the hub and the power supply, with 2 USB-A ports, 2 USB-C ports, plus the Thunderbolt 5 ports, and right now it's by far the best that's on the market. It's all in a compact and well-designed unit that takes up little space on your desk. So those of you that are like me and want some more in and out ports, the Thunderbolt 5-element hub or the Thunderbolt 4-element hub are for you. They're excellent. Over here are a couple of videos that I think you might want to watch. If you've filled up all the ports on the back of your computer, let me know that. And if you're using a hub, let me know what one you're using. Please give me that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and thank you all very much for watching.